Hi, I'm Teri. I'm going to be taking your measurements today. This is Bob, our designer. Bob steps out. Could you step back there? And there's some G string in a bra, and we'll take measurements. You are up close and personal with your tape measure, and that's your first meeting with them.
Welcome to Get Curious. I'm your host, JLPalmer. Join me as I explore my curiosity about our guest. Most people assume Broadway is a perfectly choreographed machine. What they don't realize is that behind the curtain, every night is organized chaos. Cast members change, crew members rotate, things break, mistakes happen, yet somehow the audience experiences magic. I'm curious about that and our guest, who's spent decades making that happen. For over 20 years, Wicked has wowed Broadway and the world with a nightly miracle. The same show, never the same team. No two performances share the exact same cast and crew. That's live theater. That's magic. As a seasoned theater professional, our guest, whose journey began in 1992, working on stages across regional theaters, summer stocks, and many luminous marquees of Broadway, has stepped out from behind the curtain to reveal how they make the impossible possible, and how your business can too. Our guest has a legacy of adaptability, depth, and profound connection to crafts, and maybe sweets too. She reached out to ask, curious about the intersection of theater and business, what it takes to put on a show, how can goat tails build trust, the antidotes of moments gone wrong. I'm all about yes and. Join me in welcoming our guest, Teri Pruitt, to the Get Curious podcast.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all virtually.
Isn't that the way these days, Teri?
Oh, my goodness. Well, for many people, for me, I typically, meet people in person, but that's okay. I'm lucky that way.
It's great that you get to meet people in person. We don't do as much of that anymore.
It is unfortunate and something we should all strive to meet somebody in the actual world, not the metaverse.
I agree. Yeah. And I think that the more we do the virtual, the more opportunity we get to do actually in real life. And
absolutely. And virtual is great because you get to meet virtually people from all over the world, which you wouldn't get to meet in person. So it's a wonderful way to bridge those gaps.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be meeting you today if it weren't for it, for sure.
There you go.
So I wanted to start off today, Teri, if you don't mind, with the myth of perfection.
Okay.
And everybody sees a polished performance, right? What's happening? Hopefully.
Hopefully.
What's happening backstage that audiences would never imagine?
Well, with any show, whether you're talking about your child's dance recital or a Broadway musical or play, it is as choreographed and rehearsed backstage as everything that you're seeing on stage. And our goal every night, again, from your child's recital to what I do, is to give the audience as much of a flawless experience as they can. Most of the time, it happens. But we've all seen those videos of the kids' dance recital where some child is just doing whatever they want to do or having a meltdown or a parent walks on stage. Broadway, we don't normally have meltdowns on stage or backstage, thank God. But sometimes scenery doesn't move the way it's supposed to. So way back in the day, I was working on a production of Jekyll and Hyde. and I was new to the show, and I'd preset a pair of shoes for a costume change, not realizing that I set them in front of a piece of scenery that was about to move on stage. So the scenery scooted the boots onto the stage. And there they sat, center stage, just a pair of random boots, till somebody could pick them up. And my actor went on stage in his socks. So, did the audience know that those boots were not supposed to be on stage like that? Who knows? Did everyone backstage give me grief about it? Absolutely. Not in a bad way or a shunning way, but just like a wow, that was wow, you're an idiot.
Whoops.
So it's humans with machines in a not once the downbeat happens, not stopping, and so you make it work however you can until you actually have to stop the show to fix whatever's going on.
That's a little bit of a boot scootin' boogie movement there.
Oh my God, I'm stealing that. Thank you.
Oh, God, you're welcome.
Next time I tell that story, I'm stealing it. I'll give you credit.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Okay. So you use the phrase backstage anarchy and you explained a little bit about it, but what does it actually mean?
It's anarchy in the best possible way. I'm not like I said, never once in the history of any Broadway show running for longer than a month is the same group of people doing the performance. And I'm talking about cast, crew, and orchestra. We train our swings, we train our understudies, and the musicians train their replacements. So we're all trained in what we're supposed to do. We're not just, grabbing somebody off the street and with the, hey, you want to do a show? But it is an anarchy of you're not always working with the same person. So you have to be very clear on your job, but also keep an eye and know what their job is, not to do their job, but if they're standing in the wrong place or they're about to be, hit by a piece of scenery or they're actually supposed to be on the other side. It's that it is not the same every performance. And that's what makes it fun too, because it is definitely not Groundhog Day, although it feels like it sometimes.
Yeah. Would you say that, it's very much about self-governments and working together as a community voluntarily versus, having all of the overarching rules and this is how it's done. And you really actually have to have people who have the wherewithal to come together as a group.
It's a combination, to be honest. Again, I'm going to use the recital to Broadway. The jobs are all the same. You have to have a producer. You have to have a director. You have to have someone who is in charge, a stage manager. You have to have people that are doing whatever needs to happen backstage. You have to have designers. You have to have performers. So Broadway isn't different from that recital. Now, in the recital, it may be one person that's wearing all of those hats. But on Broadway, there is a very clear hierarchy of how to do things. But if something goes wrong, there's not a committee meeting. You solve the problem. If you screw up a line on stage or fall down in the choreography, you get back up, you move on. You get back on track. Now, after the fact, there may be a postmortem of like, hey, Teri, could you maybe not put the boots right there? That and if and I was like, yeah, kind of figure that out, but yeah, I won't put the boots there anymore. Um, so there is a clear delineation of if there's a big problem, I'm going to a stage manager. I'm looking around, where's the stage manager? Somebody's hurt, I'm hurt, something's missing. They need to get, it's called the God mic, that it's the microphone that can speak to everyone backstage,
Mm.
calling for something. Like, so it's both and. It
Okay.
is a very structured environment, and within that structure we have wiggle room and freedom, because the point is solving the problem that's in front of you, and then we may have to come up with a plan B or C or D or E, but you that's how you figure out that you need a plan B,
This just
is
makes me
something goes
think.
wrong.
Yeah, yeah. And it makes me think about how this works in business too, because in business we have all of the structure and the roles, and sometimes we're wearing all the hats. But what can leaders learn from the gap between, for example, what customers see and what teams experience, given this Broadway backstage experience you've had?
I think it's in hiring people that are um, high trust and high performance would be the best way to hire. But all of us that work on whatever in theater, I'm just going to broaden it out, because when I was working in regional theater, it was the same. We're all there because we're good at what we do. We know what our job is. We're clear what our job is. We're frequently clear what other people's jobs are. And I don't mean that in a like, they're not doing their job, but they're standing in a place that's not the right place, or what have you, or helping others solve their problems. So there is a built-in baseline respect that we have for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And how leaders can generate that is generate a feeling that you are all here for a reason, because you are good at your jobs, and because you are good at your individual part of this thing that we're creating, we can come together as a greater whole. And we are here to support each other, even if it's not technically our job description. The military uses a term of take care of the people to the right or the left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take care of a prop person. I'm going to take care of an actor the same way they're going to take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
This has nothing to do with, well, it does have everything to do. There was a giant water bug cockroach the other day at the theater.
Oh.
And two of us, one person saw it and like screamed, and I was like, ah! And I literally turned to one of the crew guys and I'm like, you have to kill it, you're a guy. Like, I mean, it seems silly, and I'm usually, no gender, it doesn't matter. But I was like, nope, one of the guys has to kill the bug. So it's just like there was no discussion. The bug got killed. And they took care of us because we were squealy girls about this. It was big. It was New York big bug.
New York big.
It was New York big. So it's generating that these are the rules, these are the guidelines, but you have freedom within that guideline, and we're there for each other. And how each leader manifests that is really within their personality and their leadership traits. But I think it is a skill that they can learn and develop. But it's really creating an environment where the understanding is we're all here because we are the best at our craft at this level. And we all want to get better and support each other.
So you've said that Wicked is like a machine. And is the example that you've just given why it works?
Every part of the reason that I say Wicked's like a machine, if you've ever seen it, one of the themes is clocks and gears. So there's also that element of it. But every production is a machine. It's like a train. The downbeat happens, the train starts moving, and all the components have to work, or it's going to go off the rail. And you don't want it to go off the rail. The audience loves it when it goes off the rail, because they can say, oh, I was there the night that. But every show is a machine. I don't get to change the order of the show. I go to my place at places, and I do my first cue, and then I do my next cue, and I move. And so in that way, it is a machine, and I am a cog of that machine. I'm a replaceable cog, as we all are. But it is a cog that has to move so the machine can move.
So then each part in the machine knows what its job is,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what happens creatively when a new personality joins that machine?
You learn the room. When a new person comes in, it's that learning curve of getting to know them, asking about them, where are they from, depending on my not connection, but how much time I'm spending with them. I may say, tell me an interesting fact, or all right, you have 30 seconds, life story, go. And most theater people are yes and. We're not going to be like, why are you asking me that? But it's, when I have new actors, I'm a dresser. So when I have new actors that are cast, it's getting to know them. It's asking questions. It's seeing how they want to work. Do they like a chatty dresser? Do they like quiet? Do they like hot water? Do they like cold water? And it's the same when somebody a new hire walks into an office. You walk up and say hi. You introduce yourself. You ask them some personal questions. You might share something about you. Or if I was talking with a new stage manager that came into the show, and it was okay, give me your life story. And he's like, oh, from here. And I'm like, oh, I have family from there, Midwest. Oh, St. Louis, me too. Oh, and we kept going to smaller and smaller parts of Illinois. And it turns out his mother-in-law and my aunt go to church together in Quincy, Illinois.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So I now call him cousin because we have to be related.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So they're not just a body. They're a person that has a history and interests, and it only makes the product better if you have people that you don't have to like each other. Let me get that clear. We're not all just hugs and kisses and rainbows and unicorns backstage, but we respect each other and we collaborate. And sometimes you become BFFs, and sometimes you just are acquaintances that work together, and that's okay. And that's the same in an office or on a industrial line. Know the people around you, be kind to the people around you, because they're the ones that are going to help pick you up and save you when you've made a tactical error.
That's a great lesson, actually, from Broadway to teach us about navigating transitions and what to do with key employees in business.
Thank you. It's what we do, and we do it a lot. Most regional theaters are doing 4 to 6 shows a season, and it may not be a repertory company, so it may not be the same group of people. The crew will probably be the same for the season, but the cast won't be. So, and the designers won't necessarily be the same for the entire season for all however many productions. So it's learning each other's languages.
Yeah.
They don't, and when somebody says, yeah, don't like that word, don't use the word around them. Or if you do, apologize or say, sorry, like I say Pookie a lot. Hey, Pookie, how you doing? And one of my co-workers said, I know you do that a lot, but it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me feel like I'm infantilized. And I was like, wow, okay. I will do my level best to not do it. But please, when I do, call me on it so that I can keep getting better. Like, it was never my intent to do that to them. And they had the courage to say it to me. And I had the courage to go, wow, okay, I don't want to do that. So I will change.
I love that example because I actually kind of hit the roof inside, and all of those steaming through my ears kind of happen when somebody I don't know calls me dear or honey. And I really get it. I really get it. But it's nice that you frame it so that, we don't know what triggers somebody that way. Like my top's going off like a volcano ready to blow. But if I don't tell somebody and they're not sensitive to it, that can create some issues in trying to work as a team and a big machine together.
Right. And I mean, you and I are of a certain generation.
Yeah.
And dear and honey and darling and babe and all of those hold a different relevance to us because of how they were used when we were growing up.
Well, and it also depends on where you live, because it's a major term of endearment in some places. And here I am seething.
Absolutely. But he was able to say that to me because we have a relationship. And we can talk about something. And he knew that it was never coming from a place of condescension. But I also have to respect him enough to try not to use that word around him or in reference to him. And I don't. I mean, I, occasionally screw up and either I check myself or he checks me, and it's great. And I appreciate it because it just makes me a better person. And it's also, unless you're a 1950s diner waitress, don't ever call me honey. Like, if you are the barista, don't call me honey. I'm old enough to be your grandmother. Don't do it. Just don't.
Yeah, and I know that the approach that we use matters also. If you come at, don't you ever freaking call me that.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's like I was at a sporting event, and I was at the concession stand getting a soda, and a guy and a man said, "Excuse me, doll, can you hand me napkins?" I think it was. And I turned and I looked at him and I grabbed napkins and I said, "Here you go, pussycat." And he looked at me and I went, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were doing pet names." It's like he wasn't trying to be insulting to me. I have to know, I know that in my soul. He might have been, but I'm going to give him credit that he wasn't. But he just didn't know that that was a word that just popped out of his face, you know? And I think the look on his face when I responded with a pet name was like, oh, like it may have given him a nugget of knowledge into himself that, oh, I use those pet names at times that I probably shouldn't. Maybe.
You know, and I have a visual graphic of this individual's face and the word popping out.
But we all have those words that just pop out of our face, like that. Yep. We, that we use with it, and we don't think about it. It's just a word that we use.
You found sponsorship opportunity right here. If you haven't considered advertising via podcasts, connect with JLPalmer today and find out how. Are you our next sponsor? Do you have a product or service needing promotion? Is this your ad spot? Consider advertising via podcasts. Sponsor the Get Curious podcast. For more details, email jlpalmerconsulting@gmail.com.
So you talked about pets, so I'm going to go here. You have to tell me about the goat tail.
Okay, so if you've ever seen Wicked, we have a goat. We have a professor that is a goat. And in Act 2, the actor is supposed to switch the tail from one pair of pants to a different pair of pants. And I have had a couple of different actors fail to remember to do that. I would do it for them, except my track does not I'm not available to do that. So the first time it happened, the actor realized it, told the stage manager. The stage manager told me, and I went running up to the dressing room and grabbed the tail and got it on him, and he went on stage. Happened again, different actor, same thing. Ran, got it. And you have to understand that the Gershwin Theater is a city block wide. Oh. And so it's not just a across the room situation. Oh. And so after the second time, I was like, well, that's not happening again. So I have plan B, which is I have a backup tail, stage left, which is where they enter from. The stage managers know. I make sure the actors know it's there. A number of people know that the tail is there. The second time it happened, I grabbed the tail, and he was in the wings, and he has to crawl on stage. And I looked at the stage manager, and I holding the tail in my hand, and said, "Do I have time?" And she said, "Yes." So he has a blanket over him. So I flipped the blanket up. He's on all fours. I'm putting a tail on him. She is shining a light on where I'm putting the tail. Now, if no one in the audience can see this except somebody maybe extremely house left can see like a light there. They can't see what's going on. But this looks like an HR nightmare is happening.
I can imagine.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, got the tail on, whatever. Bob's your uncle. He goes on stage. The third time it happened, we had the spare tail. Same thing, forgot the tail, and I went and running to the spare tail and looked at the actor, and I'm like, "Follow me." And I went running, and there you go. Crisis averted. Crisis averted. Now everyone knows that there's a spare tail and spare hands, mitts, paws, stage left. So that story is about trust, team, communication. It's about a lot of things, but it was also about problem solving. And
Totally.
I didn't want to have to run across a city block and up a flight of stairs and back to get a tail on somebody. So I'm going to have it closer, closer at hand.
Yeah, and
So,
the adapting, just the skills to adapt to it. Who wants to run all over the theater every night?
and, when you're starting a show, and again, I've run in regional theaters, people have to run, stuff happens. You forgot something got misplaced. You run. You run. You make, again, problem solving and getting the best possible outcome for the audience to see. And if he had gone on stage without his tail, no one would have noticed in that moment. But that's not the point. He's supposed to have a tail. So it can happen once or twice, but that's not the design. And my job is to help maintain the design.
Well, okay. So do I? That was a big story, and I know you have another one. Do I get to ask about the measuring tape?
Sure. So where has my measuring tape been? Again, from recitals to Broadway shows. If you're building a costume, you have to take measurements. And it's not just, like for a man's shirt, which would be neck and sleeve length, and like basic measurements for a suit, inseam, waist. Well, sometimes on a measuring sheet form, on a measuring form, there we go. And even when I was an undergrad, it still had it. But it has measurements for armpit to armpit, nipple to nipple, your true inseam, which is not where we typically have our pants sit, your true waist measurement. So you are up close and personal with your tape measure and a person you may just have met. So again, it's hi, I'm Teri. Could you? I'm going to be taking your measurements today. This is Bob, our designer. Bob steps out. Could you step back there? And there's some, a pair of bike shorts and a bra or whatever, or a G-string and a bra, and we'll take measurements. And they come out, and that's your first meeting with them, is, them in their underwear and you with a tape measure and somebody writing numbers down. And it's again, it's about respect. It's an awkward situation, but a necessary situation. And if you don't need all those measurements, you don't take them. But sometimes, depending on the design of the costume, you do. And so, yeah, the tape measure can be, you may have to measure from the belly button, the girth. So the belly button around to the back where the waist would sit. All sorts of those kind of measurements are done. Yeah, it's not just going in and getting a suit built or a custom item built for you.
I can imagine this could be quite interesting for someone new who's never had it done before, but it definitely is a quick get up close and personal,
Yeah.
rather bonding moment. I mean, you definitely there's trust there for sure, to be able to have that interaction with an individual.
But again, we're there because we're the best at what we do.
Yeah.
We're there. It's not pulling somebody off the street and like, hey, Bob, can you want to, hey, it's not the 1940s. Hey, let's put on a show. We're trained to do what we do, and a performer that's getting fit is used to things. And if you've ever had a suit fit or a bridesmaid or wedding dress done, it's similar. When a costume is being built, they are pinning, they are tucking, they are, in your space with
In
you.
your space.
In your space with you. But there is a respect and a trust that this is what needs to happen to get the job done.
Well, I have to tell you, there's such a flow to this conversation, because the next question I'm going to ask is about the oddest place that costume change was done.
Well, it was where I was placed for the costume change. I was doing a summer stock in Illinois. We were, God, was that Henry? I think it was Henry V. No, Henry IV. And the guy playing Falstaff had to do a makeup change as well as a costume change. So, and his costume change also involved changing tights out of one pair, and he had another pair underdressed. But we had to take his boots off. And so where I was sitting on the ground under the table, undoing his boots, which were laced up to the knee, and taking his boots off, and then smacking his thigh because he's doing a makeup change while someone else is helping get the stuff off the top of him. And I hit his thigh, and he would like sort of stand up a little, and I would pull his tights off. He had another pair on underneath, and then I would hit one foot, and he would put his foot in the boot, and then his other one, and then I would lace up his boot. So again, the visual of it was an HR nightmare, because
Wasn't that a party?
and the comments that were rampant about it and jokes that were being told about it. The other thing you need to know about theater, and I'm gonna say it, is that we are HR nightmares walking.
That example you just gave, I have visions of the Irish Rovers song. I seriously, it's like, oh my gosh, you guys have a great time.
We do have a lot of fun, but theater is serious business, but we do have a lot of fun, and we yes and each other, and we have silly moments where everybody's just loopy, but there's enough focus there that we maintain the product continuity, and the goal is never lost on us of what we're doing, even if we're joking around with each other or telling what happened on the subway that day, or our commute in, or what our partner, pet, parent, sibling, whoever did, or where we're going on vacation. We never lose sight of the fact that we are doing a show for hundreds of thousands of people, well, thousands of people a night, but we never lose sight of that. But we do have a lot of fun, and if anybody outside, we joke that, like, I said a sentence the other night, I can't remember what it was, but I'm like, no one at Ernst Young ever gets to say that sentence. It's like, hey, pull your pants up. If you say that at Ernst Young, somebody's having a meeting. Somebody's going to go to HR with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Somebody's going to get a talking to about why were your pants down? And why is someone telling you to put them up?
Okay, I'm going to stay on course here for a minute.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure we get this before we get on a lighter note, because there
Please.
definitely is more to talk about if you have the time.
Absolutely.
But great. So if a business leader wanted to build a team that could handle uncertainty the way Broadway shows do, like Wicked or the other experiences that you have, where would you tell them to start tomorrow morning?
Get clear on their goal. Get clear on their objective. What are they trying to produce? And what widget are they creating? So that they can clearly communicate that to their team. And so that everyone is on this, they're all driving the boat to the same place. Because if that goal, if that widget isn't clearly defined and everybody's like sort of thinks they kind of know what the thing is we're trying to maybe do, that's just never going to work. A clearly defined objective.
Okay, and get everybody in the boat.
Get everybody in the boat. Ideally, everybody rowing the same direction. But you are the one who is steering the boat. But the boat needs the oarsman. The boat needs I'm from Kansas. I need to stop trying to do boat analogies because I don't know enough about them. But you need, the guy that's up in the big thing with not the periscope, the looking glass that's seeing what's ahead. You need all of those people, but you're the one that sets, we're going here. This is the direction we're going. We want to end up with this deliverable.
Okay. Captain.
Yes, you captain the ship, but trust that the crew on your ship is also clear where you're going. We're going to the new world. That's an ambiguous but clear objective.
Fantastic. So I've learned a little bit more about you that I may be right or wrong about. And I try not to learn too much because I do really want to maintain curiosity. But I understand that you may have an affinity for crafts and sweets.
I do. Both of those things very strongly.
Oh, do tell.
I got into baking a long time ago. My dad's mother, my grandmother, was an extraordinary farm cook and baker. I wish I had cared about that when she was around. It was just a way to share love and kindness and generosity. Any kind of like strength finder. I'm a nurturer. And one of the ways I love to nurture people is to give them baked goods, because baked goods are seldom needed. Like you don't need to have a cookie to survive, but boy, does it make your life better.
I wish I lived closer.
And especially during COVID, it was a way for me to not go crazy. And I love trying new recipes. And I can't tell you the amount of times that I've found a recipe and just made it and took it into the theater. I'm like, don't know, trying it. And boy, do we have opinions. So that's always fun. And as far as crafts go, I do a lot of cross stitching. I have made 3 baby blankets for my 3 extraordinary and absolutely perfect great nephews.
Aww.
And I do a monogram, a single letter monogram for the new people, the parents that are, there for their newborns. And it just, keeps me off the streets at night and gives me something to do. And it's a way to show love and caring and compassion and take care of people, and something we don't need to survive, but that makes surviving so much more beautiful.
And it really does get us out of our left brain and into our right brain, and
Absolutely.
help us just kind of slow down, balance, be able to come back to that chaos the next time around.
And that's to circle with the same analogy, the thing about baking and cooking is that there's a recipe. And there's a certain amount with baking, certainly, like you can't play with the chemistry of it. You can't just decide to add 8 tablespoons of baking soda. Not going to work. But if you stay with the science part of the recipe, the rest you get to play with and experiment with. And cooking is the same way. There is a recipe, but oh my God, you don't have paprika. Okay, well, let's throw in some chili powder. Oh, that was not a great idea. Or, oh my God, that was brilliant. Let's try chili powder the next time and paprika. Like, all of our lives, we have those moments of like having the recipe, having the script, but I'm going to try to tie this all together, having a captain, a leader, a person who's like, okay, this is the recipe. The outcome we want is chocolate brownies. And here's the recipe. And then we all get to play in the kitchen together to create the best brownie we can. It sort of worked. I'm just going to stop there. It sort of worked.
You basically just did my job for me, so thank you very much.
You're welcome very much. I'm a team player. I try.
Teri, how can people find you? What would you like to leave with us today? Is there anything we haven't covered that you really would like to share?
Well, I feel we've gotten close, so I can share this as well. I'm also a huge Days of Our Lives fan. Don't judge me about that. But if people are interested in getting to know more about me, they can go to my website, teripruitt.world. There they can find out about starting a conversation if they want me to come into their organizations and share these stories and insights. They can also find me on LinkedIn at Teri Pruitt, and my socials are my name. My business stuff is more my website and LinkedIn. My personals, my Instagram and things like that are just more my, personal life, but they're more than welcome to look at that too.
We'll definitely share that in the show notes.
Let the show go on. Let the show go on. You're gonna get there. And they'll stand up at the end.
Yeah, standing ovation right now for Teri. Thank you very much for being my guest.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
I know you want to get to know our guests better. I definitely will be. If you'd like help with your podcast or you'd like to be my next guest, check out the show notes for details on how to get signed up with Podmatch. Until next time,
Stay curious.